All right, so first with the contest, I got to show you what's going to be in it. We're going to have an i3 12100F. This is the latest 12th gen i3 that's currently out. These are 4 cores and 8 threads. Plenty sufficient for iRacing. We're going to pair this with a 500 EVGA gold power supply. Next up, what's going to be pushing this is a RX6500XT. And all this is going to be going on a Asus Prime B660M D4. For some of you guys who don't know, the B660s can do DDR5. If they're designated with a D4, that means they can take DDR4 memory. However, this cannot take DDR5 memory. So if you want to upgrade later, you wouldn't want to get the D4 version. Again, this is going to be a lower end build, but we'll see how it's going to work in iRacing. 16 gigabytes of RAM and a 512 gigabyte NVMe. All right. Over here, this isn't part of it, but we got the Moza RS9. I'll be doing another video on that as well. It competes with Fanatec CSL DD. Spoiler alert. It crushes the Fanatec CSL DD. It is 9 newton meters, but that's not why it crushes it. It's the software. But anyway, back to what we were talking about. So, how many FPS do you think this will get? i3 12100F with the RX6500XT with the Asus B660M motherboard, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and 512 gigabytes of NVMe M.2. So, what do you guys think? Put your comments down below. How many FPS you think this will get on mostly high settings in 1080p on a single monitor, and whether or not you believe that this will be able to run VR. Let me know in the comments below. Fun game, and then I'm going to run it tomorrow for you guys and see how close you guys can get. Alright gents, computer's built now, a little bit of RGB, but this is our budget build, and people who say you can't run VR on low-end equipment, it's not exactly true. We have an i3 12100 with 16 gigabytes of RAM and an RX6500XT. This is FEG's lower-end build, but I'm going to show you how it runs in VR as well as on a single monitor. You do not need a lot of money to run triple monitors. Give us a holler, or a single monitor and VR. You don't need any of that stuff. You don't need high-end stuff to do that, and this is going to showcase it. Now, I am going to be racing on a remote control here just so I don't have to set up a wheel and stuff, so don't judge the driving. And we're going to be using the Oculus Rift headset, okay? As you can see, it's hooked up. I already got it hooked up. It's in the car now, as you can see. And I'm going to put that on. Now, the FPS is going to be up there. You can see it's pegged at 80 right now. I don't know how much of it you'll see, of that you'll be able to see actually when we're going, but you'll be able to see at least the smoothness of the car and of the VR. Okay, I'm gonna get that set up now. Straightening up my headset. All right. So let's go see here. I'm gonna move my head left and right so you can see, and now I'm gonna go. So we are on. I'm driving with the remote, and I have the graphics set on what I would call mostly high and some medium, and I'll show that as well after I get done driving. But remember, I'm doing this on a remote control, on a Xbox controller actually, and I'm not really good, but you can see I can look around just fine. Ooh, better watch where I'm going now. But yeah, as you can see, VR is pegged up there. I don't know if you can see that up there at the top right. 80 FPS going down the front here. Still at 80 FPS. And then what we'll do is we'll take a look at, hit the wall here for a minute, but it stays at 80. You've knocked your wheels out of alignment. But you can see it does really well. I was in a Daytona race. I was testing it as well earlier. And in a pack, it still stayed pegged at 80. Let's go down pit road here. Ooh, slow down, slow down. Go down pit road. Ooh. Yeah, I'm really going down pit road. She's still pegged at 80. She's got all the signs here. You can see everything's on here. I'm just doing this so you guys can see that. And let me stop here. My guys, yes, if you take a look, they do have bikinis on. Yep, they do. Alright, and look at the boys working. So i3 12100 with a 6500 XT, an i3 12100, and you see it's running VR just perfectly fine. Let me find my mouse here. Now I'm going to show you guys the what kind of graphic settings we have. Okay, graphic settings. Like I said, I put it on mostly high. We are in VR right now, so as you can see on this side, we've got mostly medium and high. Hope you guys can see that. Yep. Okay, medium and high settings. Frame rate's uncapped, but Rift S is capped at 80, so it stayed strong 80. Pretty much everything on. The only thing that I have off are shadows and cockpit mirrors. Cockpit mirrors are a big drain. You can still put them on, but I didn't. FEG does tune your PC for VR prior to leaving, so if you do want a low-end VR detail, look, everything's ultra here. You got medium and high, so we're looking really good. So let's see what it does on monitors now. Get done here, and then quit, and boom. All right, we're just gonna stay right with it now. I am going to throw on the, now we're just going to do it on monitors. So you can see what an i3 can do. You just saw it run VR, so not really going to be much of a spoiler alert that it's going to run it just fine. It's asked if you want to run VR. This time we're going to say no. And now we're going to look at my driving with the controller on monitor. And this one I'll actually be able to show you the FPS, but spoiler alert, with this 6500 XT and the i3, we're still going to get 150 to 200 frames per second. But I want to show you that because so many people say that you have to have a ridiculous high-end system to run VR and all that, and you just simply don't. It's not true. So again, we'll check the graphics here. So you guys can see we're on mostly medium and high, and you can pause the video if you want to take a look at it. But it's all medium high. Like I said, shadow maps are off and cockpits are off. Everything else pretty much on and on medium and high. Okay. All right. So now I'm gonna use the remote. You can see. So driving. Whoa. I don't know how. Really giving kudos to the guys that can drive on. That can drive with these controllers because I can't. So we're driving now. Right now we're seeing. I'm not sure if you can see it up there, but I'll show you guys. It's showing 320 frames per second. This is with the i3 1200. Now, in fairness, I'm crashing because I'm holding this. Let me do this a little bit differently here. There we go. So you guys can see the FPS. There we go. I'm just coasting right now. But we're looking at 250 some. Let me do this, guys, for you. Let me kick this back. And really just focus on just there you go. Now you guys can see that a little bit better, I believe. While we're driving, let me get driving here. Okay, so we're at 240. We're going down the front stretch right now, as you can see that on there. There we go. Down the front stretch, 240, 250. Just down the front stretch where the pits are and all the other jazz. Just want you guys to be able to see that. All right, so now we've left the pits area and broadcast. Now we're in the crowds. We're looking at 330, 340 frames per second. So 350, 330. Now we're going to go down pit road here so you can see the worst case scenario where, you know, you got more cars, you got everything rendering, the pit crews, things like that. So let's go down there. Slow down. Alright, let's get under that pit road. Alright. So here we go. My tire is really jacked up. As you can look in there in the right side, you can see my car is jerking around because of it. But here we are. We're in the pits and we're looking at 280 frames per second. So, and again, I'm running here on the controller. See left, right. Let's back up here. So 250. So you could do an ultra ride with no problem here. An ultra ride, no problem. Let's back up. Let my boys. You can take a look at them there in their bikinis again. But in their bikinis, check it out. But yeah, as you can see, the i3 12100, 250 plus frames per second on a single wide or on a single monitor and ultra wide would be the same. 250 plus. That's at 1080p, and you saw it earlier with the VR ran it just fine, maxed out at 80 FPS on the Rift S. And here you go, the i3 12100 paired with the 6500XT. Need a budget build that can run high settings on a single and still have the option to do VR with no problem. Give us a holler. FEG PC.net.